Hey guys, welcome to part 9 of my Paradise Rainbow Mandala crochet along. Today we are going to be doing rounds 53 to 57. Now 53 and 54, as you remember from the last video, were these optional rounds. So if you're wondering why I'm starting at 53 and 54 again, is because 53 and 54 are starting on the outside edge. Just to save any confusion there. So what we're going to do is I'm just using different shades of blue again for this, and we are going to start from this tip, and we're going to start from the 10th stitch back. So I'm just going to count off these 10 stitches, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, so that's there. And we are going to start with a standing double crochet. So in this one. Now it is important that you are going into a right stitch for this, because we're going to work a series of double crochets and popcorn stitches on this point. So we're going to do one stitch and one popcorn, so this classes as our first stitch. So now for a popcorn, so it's 5 double crochets all into the same space, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is my 5th double crochet. Just going to see if I can get this light a little better. It's a bit gloomy today. And then you take out your hook, and we insert your hook back through the first of the 5. Put your loop back over, pull gently, and just do a slip stitch and a chain 1, and then just go into your next stitch with a double crochet and then a popcorn into your next. So we're going to do this until we've got 5 popcorns. So that's 2, 3, 4 and 5. Then a double crochet in the stitch after. Not too much of a difficult round for this one, it's just on these points. You do need to make sure you go into the right stitch. So I'm doing popcorn number 4. So 5 double crochets all in that same stitch, and then a slip stitch to form your popcorn. Oops. And a chain 1. So your fifth popcorn should be in this very last stitch, just before your point. Just like that. Then in this point we're going to do a double crochet, chain 1 and a double crochet. Right, so what you need to do now is you are going to make the same on this side. So starting in this very first stitch here is a popcorn. So I am going to try and get these done quite quick today. Oops. Save that and then I start getting tangled. 3, 4 and 5. and then we do the exact same with a double crochet in the next stitch along. Getting my yarn tangled today. I'm having one of those days already. And a giant, great big knot. So I'm actually going to leave you to do these popcorns on this side. So it's a popcorn then a double crochet until you have a number of 5 in total. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 5 down here. So I will catch you back on for the next part of this round. Right, so this is the next part of round 53. So we've got our popcorns done and our last double crochet. Now I'm just going to take a couple of seconds just to come over to this point, and I always find it easier to grab a little stitch marker and count 10 stitches back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, and just pop a little stitch marker in there. It can be any stitch marker you like, it can be a bit of thread, just anything to tell you where your 10th stitch is. And then what we can do is, after this double crochet, we're just going to chain one, and then skip a stitch down here, and into the next stitch we're going to do a half double crochet. And we're going to be doing this until we get to the other side of this long stretch. So chain one, skip a stitch, and then a half double crochet. Chain one, skip a stitch, and a half double. So this is nice and easy. Move over a little bit. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 half double crochets. So this is a little fix if your stitch count is a little bit off, because I want my last stitch here where my stitch marker is to be a double crochet. So I'm going to do a chain one. So if I were to go into the next stitch, it's one too many for the popcorns. So since it's only one stitch, I am just going to do 2 together as a double crochet, and that puts your stitch count right again, and it doesn't make any difference to the shape of your blanket. So this first stitch here is the exact same as the beginning of the round, so your next stitch is in fact going to be a popcorn. So I'll just do this first one. So remember, popcorns are 5 double crochets in the same stitch. And then you go into the first stitch and doing a slip, and then a chain one, and then moving on to the next stitch, which is a double crochet. So that's we're just going to do that for the entire round. So you're going to do a slip stitch to join, where on the next round we will be using a different colour. So I will see you back at round 54. Right, round 54. A couple of different things going on this round. I'm starting with a new colour, so I'm actually starting with the lighter colour what I've got down here. And I'm going to do a front post double crochet round the last stitch, or the first stitch, depending on which way you're looking at it. I'm crocheting from left to right, so it's the first stitch, the first double crochet before all my popcorn stitches. So I'm going to go in with the front post standing double crochet, and all these stitches are going to be all front post now, over these popcorn. So round the popcorn, round the popcorn even, and then one round the double crochet in the middle, then round the popcorn again. I will just do all these on camera because it's not going to take me long. You have to make sure you don't get anything caught underneath your popcorn stitches. It can happen, so just be a little bit careful, but you can move them out of the way quite a bit. So I'm just going all the way across until I hit the centre. So this is the centre, so you've got two and then a chain in between. So I'm going to do a front post double, chain one, and then I'm going to carry on. That chain one just kind of makes your corner back. And I'm going to stop when I get to the double crochet just after the popcorns. Oops, see what I mean? Went straight through there. And then this is my last one. So you can see we've just made a little background, and it kind of separates these popcorns out a little bit more, putting those front post stitches around the top of them. It just neatens them up and makes them look really nice. So what we're going to do now is work on this long stretch here. We are going to have a little bit of a point starting, so make sure you get the right stitches here. So what we're going to do is you're going to yarn over twice, and we're going to go through the back of our work, and we're going to go through the row below, not the popcorn row but the one underneath, and we're going to just go through that stitch there. And we work into the back of our work now, so make sure you don't get this this row what you just done caught up. So yarn over twice and do a treble through this row, and then we're going to do a double round this post. These are back post stitches, and then we're going through both loops on the row underneath. So what's going to happen is this kind of blue row is going to sit to the front and just make a line which is going to look similar to one of these. Can be a little bit tricky. So you want to work until you get to post number 8. Give it a count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got another couple to do. So I'm not counting that one there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, now what we're going to do is we are going to chain one, and chain one and into this. It's kind of like two middle squares. Just making sure I get the right ones here. Just excuse me. Actually, I will count this front one in this count. I'm just making sure I get the right ones. Yeah, so it's these two squares in the middle that I'll be working on. So yarn over twice, I think. So I'm just reading my pattern back here. My handwriting's not brilliant. Even I struggle. Yeah, we're going to yarn over twice, and we're going to skip this one here, and in the next one we're going to make two clusters. So that's 3 stitches per cluster. So yarn over twice, and you can see I'm just pulling off 2 loops at a time and leaving my stitches on my hook, and then pull through all 3, chain 2, and then another cluster. Chain 2, move over a square, chain 2 in between your clusters, so this is gonna make a new point in the middle. Then skip a square, and then should be going round this one. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So we're going straight round this next post stitch with a back post double. And then we're doing the exact same stitches, trebles in between. Sorry if I confused anybody with this. So we're just going to carry on. Yeah, that's right. So I'm just double checking myself there. So back post double around the post stitches, and then you treble round the back. See, that project's getting a little bigger to fit in the frame, a lot of it at a time, so I do apologise if I keep going off. So don't forget this last one, which is basically your first stitch that you started. You're coming around the front to do a front post double round now. That's what was confusing me at the beginning of this section. So that stitch is basically the same as where you started. So continue on for the entire round, where we will be changing colour on the next round as usual. So don't forget to close your round off with a slip stitch, where I will see you back for round 55. Right, round 55, and we have another new colour. I'm going for the darker blue, what I've been using down here for this round. So I'm going to attach my yarn in the chain 1 space in between my popcorns with a standing single crochet, then a chain 1, and then a single crochet in the same space. Just going to see if I can change my lighting again. It's very gloomy outside today. Now that's a little better. Right, so what I'm going to do is I now want 24 single crochets across here. Don't forget to put your stitch in this first double there. So we're going to do single crochets, so counting this second half as my first crochet. I'm not counting this first one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 and 24. So I think my lens is a bit that's better. I do apologise about that. Right, so I've got 24 single crochets, not including that first half of the point now. So I should have 4 stitches left. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, which is good. So where we've got these clusters right here, we're going to do some more clusters now. So yarning over twice, we're doing treble clusters, and each cluster has 3 stitches. Oops. I went to add a chain 1 there, and then do your clusters. So just the same as what we were doing on the previous round. So after you pull through, you're just going to chain 1, and then move on to the next space. Chain 1. Now we're in this middle space now. So 2 clusters are going into the same space. So that's my first cluster, so I'll just pull through, and I'm going to chain 2 this time, and then got a bit of a knot there, my second cluster in that same middle space. Chain 1, moving on to the next space. Pull through, chain 1, and then I've just got 1 left to do in the last. So I've just needed more yarn out there. So I'm just in the last space here. Oops. Sorry, treble cluster. So it's getting quite hard to film because of the amount of blanket I've got to wrestle my way around. Just glad I'm not making this in chunky because that would be impossible. Right, so here goes that last treble cluster into that last space we've got there. And then just a chain 1. So this is what we've just made. So the next round, you can separate these out a bit. So the next round, that'll be a bit more of a point. Right, so we're going to skip the next 4 stitches. So make sure you count these properly. So this is indeed your first stitch, what you need to skip. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the 5th, we're doing a single crochet. So that is 1 of 24. So I'll just get these done right quick for you. So 1, I probably got to count them. 2, that's 10. That's 15. 20, so 21, 22, 23 and 24 will actually should land in that stitch there. On this round, if you end up with 25, just somewhere around here, put 2 together. If you end up with 26, 22, 23, add a couple of stitches around here, and that'll get your stitch count back to being right again. Because these things can get away from you, and it's fine. It doesn't mean you have to frog all your work or unpick loads of it. It's just being able to make these minor adjustments as you go along does make life a lot easier. So that being said, this single crochet is the exact same as where we just started. So all you're going to do is you are just going to give it a chain, another single crochet in there, which is your first of 24 stitches, and carry on. So I will see you back for round 55, for 56. So at the end of this round, we will be changing colour again, so just slip stitch to join, and I will see you back on row 56. Right, round 56, and I'm starting with a new colour. Now I'm going to do this this round the same colour as I've done with popcorns, and you'll see why in a minute. Because we're going to be connecting 2 rounds up and down. So, going to start in the tip of this point in between the popcorns with a standing single crochet, a chain 1 and a single crochet. So not including my first one, I will be counting with you, just so you know how many I'm doing. So not including this first one, so this second one is actually my first, so that's 1. And don't forget to go into this one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14. Right, so we've done 14, so what we're going to do now is we're going to do a treble, so yarn over twice, and kind of in this popcorn row you've got these chain 1 spaces, so you kind of pick up a chain 1 space and do a treble. Then we're going to go back up to the top here. So what you want to do is don't go into the stitch behind it, go into the next one. So, because we're not increasing here, we're just making like an overlay. So not this one, go into the next one with a single crochet, and then yarn over twice, come back down to the next chain space underneath, skip a stitch, do a single crochet. So we're just going to work like this across this little part. We'll straighten it out afterwards, so we can see how many times we're doing stitches into the bottom. Right, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So this last stitch, what I want to actually do is, this last stitch I'm going to go into this stitch, so even though I'm not skipping one, it's fine. Then I'm going to yarn over 3 times, 2 and 3. I'm going to skip one down here and go into the next. And then I'm going to go into this stitch here, which is the top of that cluster, with a single crochet. So that's that first little bit done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into the gap with a single, and then into the top of the cluster, and then into the gap with a single, oops, then into the cluster. Can be a bit tricky to see where you're actually meant to be going, and then this leads us to the top, so I'm going to do one single, one chain, one single, and then into the cluster, into the gap, and into the cluster stitch, into the gap, into the cluster. And then yarn over 3 times, find the right space to go into down here. Can be a little tricky doing this one on this side. Try and keep this stitch quite tight, and then you're going to just do this in this space here. There we go. So even though it's not quite lining up the same as the other side, we've still got the same amount of stitches, so that's fine. Right, so, and after the next row, this will stop bending over. So what we need to do is yarn over twice and come down. Oh, that's a bit squeaky, I do apologise. And then we're just going to do the same on the way back. So we're still skipping that single, well, we're still skipping a space behind. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've got the same amount of stitches on both sides, which is fine. And don't forget, this will pull out after it settles in a little bit. So don't worry about that. The next round will sort that out. So now we want I want 14 stitches going up here. So I'm classing this as my first one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14 should land right in that tip, and that stitch is the same as the stitch where we just started. So continue on for the round and slip stitch to join, but don't cut yarn. We're going to use the same colour in the next part of the video for round 57. So I will see you back at round 57, guys. Happy stitching. Right, this is round 57. So this is the final round of part 9 because I don't want to make the videos too long or too intense. So I've still got the same colour on my hook as the previous round. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to slip stitch into my point there, and I'm going to chain 1, and then chain again and do a single crochet. So one chain is our classes as our single crochet. Our chain 1 is a chain 1 and then a second crochet. So what you want to do is we're just going to be doing a complete single crochet round for this round, but it's mainly to correct any stitch problems, or if you've got too many or too little, then this is a perfect round for getting your stitch count back to what it should be. So I'm classing this as my first one, so I'm going to work from here to the other point. So there's not much going on, it's just all single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So on this first section you want 26 single crochets, and this is going to be the same for the other side of this part as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to skip a stitch. So I'm skipping this long one. It doesn't matter if yours isn't the long one there, just as long as you've got 26 single crochets so far. I'm going to skip that one, so I'm going to count up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the 7th one is going into this tip at the top. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I want 7 going down the other side. So chain 1, and then into that same space. So it's that chain 1 space at the top. I'm going to start counting again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Skip a stitch, and then I'll start my count again. So I want 26 going up this side. So I'm going to skip that one and go into that one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Just move on with it. This is where you can do some corrections if you need to. So 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I don't need to. No, I can just do the rest of these. And number 26 is going to land in that chain 1 corner space right in the tip, which is just here. So that's it for this round, and that's it for this part of the mandala. So you want 26 going from here to here, and it'd be 7 skip a stitch and 7 to there, and don't forget your point stitches on both sides. So carry on stitching. I hope you're all enjoying my tutorials for this mandala so far. Don't forget to like and subscribe my channel. You can find me on Instagram as Crochet Kyle. I love to see what people have made. Any comments you want to make or anything like that, feel free. I'll get back to people when I can. So until I come out with part 10, happy crocheting guys, and stay tuned. Bye!